To the churlish Captain K.P. Hobb, venerated soldier of the Goblin Court. To the Master of Ceremonies, Delosa de la Rue, pride of the Court of Wonder. To the illustrious Gwendolyn Thistlehop of the Court of Wonder. To the tenebrous Prince Andhera, scion of the Unseelie Court. And to the notorious Lords of the Wing, Lady Chirp Featherfowl, Countess of Cluckingham, and Lord Squawk Erebus, Earl of Peckersburg. Honored Archfey, we are delighted to welcome you to A Court of Fae and Flowers. Greetings, and welcome to a social event of a season here on Dimension 20. I am your highbrow dungeon master.
This was a lot, and I regret it.
Throw it away. What's up?
Good. We're still
Nothing is
going.
precious today. That was powerful.
Thank you. I'm Abria Iyengar, and with me inside this decorous dome are my pack of pixies. Say hi, pack of pixies.
Hi, Pack of Pixies!
This is going to be a story about fashions, passions, and power struggles of Archfey from a variety of courts and noble houses all across the Fey realms as they come together to briefly celebrate a surge of magical power in their world known as the Bloom. If any of this is giving you Regency vibes, then yes, you are correct and you're in the right place. So,
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna be really weird for my.
How do you spell that? And how do you spell that?
It's Bloom. I think. Well, how would we? Is
How
it
would you
Bloom
spell
like
it?
Bloom House? Is this all?
yes, we're going full Midsommar.
Oh, yes. Honestly, right? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So in order to get the flavor right for the story, we had to build upon what is already in front of us in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. So I have reached out to some of my favorite games that have mechanics specific to driving interpersonal conflict and confluence and the pushing of drama and melodrama. So when they pop up, you'll see them. Just know we're playing something a little hacked together and a little fun. But that's the fun of the story. But why don't I explain the first one to you right now? All of you have a chest in front of you. And though you can't see your own, you see that there's a row of 7 stones on the front. These are no mere design. They're your reputation trackers. Now, in polite society, your reputation is everything. And the way you behave out in the world will affect how people see you, how you are able to get the things you want from others, and what you think of yourselves as you move through this space and make your choices. So, at the end of every session, we'll assess, and you'll see at the top of the next game where your reputation track is. And I encourage all of you to play with these mechanics. As people's stars rise, they are more desirable to you. They're better connections, better friends, more desirable lovers.
But maybe also someone we want to take down a peg.
Ooh.
Also that.
Emily, what?
Yeah, Axford gets the game. She came in knowing the assignment. And by that same token, as people's reputations begin to fade, that's not just incentive to avoid them, but they're vulnerable. Some of you are birds of prey. Never forget.
Come on.
So do what you will
Oh my gosh.
and follow your heart and make good choices, or at least bad ones in private. Before we begin our tale of A Court of Fae and Flowers, I believe some formal introductions are in order. So let's begin with Serena.
Hello, I'm Serena Marie, and I'll be playing Gwendolyn Thistlehop.
Hello, I'm Oscar Montoya, and my character is Deloso de la Rue, and my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Lou Wilson, and I'll be playing Lord Squawk Erebus of the Lords of the Wing. Pronouns he, him.
Hi, I'm Emily Axford, and I'll be playing Lady Chirp Featherfowl, Countess of Cluckingham. She, her.
Oh, I forgot. I'm also. Come back. I'm also a thing. I'm the Earl of Peckersburg.
Yeah. It's your turn.
Hi, I didn't see you come in. My name is Brennan Lee Mulligan, and I'm playing Captain KP Hobb of the Goblin Court. He, him.
And I'm Omar Najam. I have no introduction. I have no like cool thing that I'm doing. So
This is nice though. This is fun.
This is good.
let's just take a second.
This is great.
I'm Omar Najam. I'm playing Andhira, he, they.
Amazing. So why don't we get into it? All of this begins with the bloom. Since the time before time, the Fey realms have been the wellspring for magic that suffuses not just this realm, but all others. The flow of magic is natural here, and it waxes and wanes according to its own unknowable clock. But when magic surges here, the entire realm reacts in a riotous celebration of life. Verdancy, fertility, and the giddiness of abundance affect every living thing here. And the eye of the storm of fecundity is known as the bloom. Fae of all stations have gathered to the bloom to mix and mingle, to move through courts and spaces, and celebrate life and join together. And this is where we find ourselves now.
Party.
Before we get there, I think we need to meet our characters. So we're going to move across the Fey realm, not in distance, but in timbre, from the salty seafoam court that is hosting this year's bloom to a place of nigh darkness. It is, as ever, the gloaming here in the Unseelie Court. You spot a lone figure moving through a massive dark marble loggia lit by a black fire torch flickering in the unceasing winds that both are and are of the Queen of Air and Darkness, the ruler here. Andhira, you are headed to your apartments within the palace to finalize your preparations to head to the bloom. You know, Advisor, your chaperone and advisor, is waiting for you there to lecture you one last time before you take off on decorum and expectations and what will be asked and required of you during your travels away from your home court, the place you stand to inherit. But you pause and you look out into the heavy blue twilight, and we see your face for the first time. So will you please describe yourself for me?
Absolutely. And Hera is a tall, toned, young man.
I just got hungry.
Fuck. I'm doing too.
The first thing you would notice about Anhera is their sort of tousled, like curly hair that's sort of peppered and salted. And it falls over a dark purple face with just these piercing garnet eyes. And it's hard to read if it's specifically a scowl or a smile or somewhere in between. And their stature's perfect, absolutely regal, looking out the window. And if you were to have any judgments about this individual, you might come to the conclusion that he definitely has muscle, but it's not muscle from like actually doing lifting. It's completely visual, completely useless gym muscle is what he's going for. He's in a robe that's sort of open a little bit and just smolders.
That's good.
Just constantly smoldering.
Yes. Amazing. So as you look out, you hear the beginning of footsteps coming down this like dark hallway, and you see at the far end the slender, sort of hunched form of Advisor coming in. Young master, are you ill at ease? What are we looking at? And comes right over your shoulder and is just sort of like looking at
Okay, that's very close.
What is this uncomfortable for you?
It is incredibly uncomfortable, and you know that. Give me like just a couple feet, please. Thank you.
Oh, he didn't do it. He just leans back a little bit.
Thank you. I will appreciate it that you give me a couple feet.
I need you to give me a persuasion check.
Great. Persuasion. I've got 3 different dice. This will be my diplomacy dice. All right, here we go.
First roll.
What? Now total, it's a 3.
Okay.
With
Where do we
a plus
start?
2, that's a 3.
Yeah. So we started with a 1?
Yeah. Yo, seriously?
If you all applaud for me, I'll stab you. I'll stab you on camera. Do not clap when I roll.
in defiance of like your direct wishes, and truly physics, somehow advisor closes the distance and is even nearer to you. You're not in charge of the Unseelie Court yet. And I am here specifically to keep an eye on you, and that's what I will do. And you feel just a little bit of his breath kind of float across your neck.
Then I look to him and just really tense up my shoulders a bit, square out. Actually, I wanted you to get closer. So actually what you did was what I put you into a position where you do exactly what I did, advisor. So are you not doing exactly what I said? In a way, if you think about it. Because I played against like the games we play, the strategy that I learned,
Yes.
I used against you.
I'm just gonna jump in right here and remind you one more time that you need to double check all of your preparations, and if you need me to turn down any engagements and invitations that you've been given, I know you're excited to frolic in the flowers, but I would kindly remind you of who you represent. You and your sister, Suntar, need to do your best, because the queen herself will not be debasing her form with corporeality in order to make an appearance this blue.
I turn back out and I clasp my hands behind me, which takes a second to kind of shove him out of the way.
Yeah,
because
for
he's
sure.
right up
You
in my
just
business.
absolutely,
Yeah.
you kind of like sack tap him and he just takes a step back.
And like didn't mean to, and like I want to communicate that a little bit of like
Yeah.
just shifting like 1 inch over.
Yeah.
And just kind of look out and laugh. I assure you, advisor, the only thing that will be debased will be the
No, say it.
It's the staring out will be the low.
This is the most perfect representation of a Nat 1.
Thank you. That was my nickname back in high school. The only thing that will be debased, advisor, is your low expectations of me, my man. And I turn, look, so, put that in your pipe.
Sure. Thank you for reminding me that I need to pack my pipe. I'm going to go finish getting ready, and I suggest you do the same.
Well, I will. Thank you for that advice.
Will you be bringing your beastie with you?
Yes, he has a yacht hound, which in case
Yeah,
you
for
don't-
those. Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's a dog with like an old man's face. Oh. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's
Homer,
inaccurate.
Why did you introduce
No, I'm
this?
sorry.
Why?
I'm sorry. That's actually inaccurate. It's a hound with an old man's head. Is probably the better way to put it.
Not
Yeah.
just a
So whole
face,
head,
it's a
not just a
head.
face.
But in like a cute, fun way?
Oh,
Like an adorable, fun way?
everything's up for interpretation. I
Okay.
What's
suppose.
the hair situation?
Yeah.
I need to know.
Like a little bit.
And the ear situation? Human?
Still a little like we meet in the middle.
It's a terrible compromise on all fronts.
I don't think this is adorable. The more he talks, it's not adorable.
So there's like a transition happening.
Yeah.
It's like an ombre.
An ombre effect. Right.
Yeah. It's like you have a free photography editing program.
Yes.
And this was like, oh, this is how I can, like, I'll erase half of this
Okay.
and just put it on top.
You got the free trial.
the free trial.
Uh-huh.
I'm so glad our audience will have immediately just gotten a photo of it and be like, oh, we get it.
We're in the space figuring it out
do this one.
for ourselves. Yes. Advisor is going to turn on his heels and like walk away, just sort of nodding as you mentioned, bringing your hound. And he leaves you to your own devices to prepare however you see fit. But I will note that you were under the impression before that you would be the only one from the Unseelie Court, besides Advisor, going. And to find out that your sister, that sort of ray of light in an otherwise dark court, is going to be there, is new information.
I wait for the footsteps to echo out,
Takes like a good 2 minutes.
and I will wait those. Mostly because it's that in-between time where like, but if I do anything, he'll know because he can hear me that I
Yes.
waited. But he probably also knows that I'm standing exactly still, not making a noise in order to not indicate that I am waiting. So finally, when I'm at my piece, damn. Are you serious, man? Are you serious? Damn it. And I like kick like a piece of luggage. Damn.
It tumbles into the ether.
Shit.
What was in that luggage?
Yeah, like my fanciest clothes. Shit. And I cast dancing lights to try to get it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What do your dancing lights look like?
Imagine you can see the inside of a crystal without the external surface. So everything, when you peer into it, like if you've ever done like scrying or anything, like that's what you're looking at, but there's no surface to it.
Amazing. So yeah, this beautiful like prismatic light that is unbounded by geometry sparkles and shines, and you see like a specific dark gust of wind catch your luggage and sort of drop it back in front of you. And the scent on that wind lets you know that, again, the Queen of Air and Darkness, who rarely debases herself to take a physical form, is here. And this is one of the kindest gestures you can imagine or remember in a long time as she presents your luggage back to you.
Thank you, Mom, for that.
Oops.
You feel the wind circle around you. And you're like at the center of this small tornado. And it is a little suffocating, TBH. She is tussling your hair. There's the wind equivalent of like cheeks being pinched and all of it happening a little too close and a little too cold.
Okay, thank you, Mom. Thank you for all this. Thank you for getting my bag. I will make you proud, and you will see that I am the better child out of the two of us. Not better child. I will be your best boy going forth.
From that, the wind leaves you and makes a little bit of a strange howling sound as it whips through the loggia that sounds somewhere between a sigh of resignation and maybe a bit of stifled laughter. And you're able to continue towards your apartments and get ready to leave. And we move from twilight to a midnight canopy full of stars. We move to a world away, the Court of Wonder. The Court of Wonder is a joyous citadel of celebrations and the home and hub of those magics that are known by mortals to be miracles, the kind granted by fairies over like tearful prayers in the dead of night. And we find Gwendolyn Thistlehop. You are standing in a courtyard, sort of choked with summer lilac, and you're watching dozens upon dozens of like small winged lesser fae flitting back and forth, helping the massive contingent of the Court of Wonder prepare to take off and leave for the bloom. And as we see you in this sort of serene step away from the busyness, would you please describe yourself?
Sure. So Gwendolyn has bright pink wavy hair that falls down to her shoulders. She wears the most ridiculous like blue flouncy dress that like bobs as she walks. She has a large dandelion leaf like flipping out of her hair and a beauty mark on the side of her face that is in the shape of a flower that she calls a berry mark. She probably looks like a traditional fairy, like with her proportions like Tinkerbell, but like in the real world. So it's kind of weird. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little wrong.
Like it's her eyes are too big. Her her face is too wide. Yeah, it's like that.
You hold in your hand sort of your invitation via the court and the leaders of the Court of Wonder, the chorus, inviting you and not your sister, the Blue Fairy, to this event. Where is she right now?
I think Blue would most likely be in like a fainting room or if like a, you know, like those fancy rooms. There's a powder room, but it's just
Yeah.
like couches. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's where she like hangs out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how you got your invitation. Because Gwendolyn, who goes by her name and no official title, you were part of this court. Though, as people sort of walk by, the lesser fae know to bow and give deference to archfae as they walk. They're not necessarily doing that with you in this moment. So how did you get to score an invitation to the Bloom?
Well, when you're friends with the people delivering invitations, things can get changed. And so, in that edit, my name was put on.
Amazing. So we sort of cut from you in this moment, looking down at your invitation and looking up at all of the preparations happening. And we cut back to your sister, the blue fairy of legend that turned Pinocchio into a real boy, as she is absolutely ripping your living room, your sitting room to fucking bits in her fury at the slight of not being invited. But that's a problem for another day. You're here now and ready to go. And as you move through the courtyard towards the next steps to leaving, you get a little taste. It starts in the back of your throat and moves across your tongue to the very tip. And it tastes like lemon. And you know what the taste of lemon means. And you know who that heralds. And Mika is reaching out to you. But is now the time for you to pick up this call? You've been tasting lemon probably once an hour for like
Once an hour?
yeah, for like the last 2 or 3 days.
I'm gonna find a corner somewhere. There's dark corners, places, right?
Sure.
The darkest of the corners.
Give me a stealth check.
Great. Oh, thank you. Wait, no, guys, don't clap.
That's right, it's me.
Watching you.
to clap.
Why?
Because he got a nat 1.
I know. yeah.
No, that was okay. A 20, but it's dirty 20.
Damn.
So,
Thank you.
With a dirty 20, your body, your true essence, knows those liminal spaces and forgotten places. And you find one in shadow easily.
where the music doesn't play, where the
Where this guy's light does not shine.
The beat can't reach.
So in that liminal dark space, I open my mind to communicate, but I don't. It's just like the spell message where it can only be like state your sentence.
Yeah.
That's what I've opened.
Okay. You open it, you, on top of the like lemon flavor that you've been swallowing, it was beginning towards the next step in that reach, that signaling. You begin to smell cookies full of cinnamon just on the edge of burning. And then it suddenly goes away as the channels open and you hear, hello? Hello, are you there? Oh no, this is oh shit, how are you? Send the spell again. Please. And it gets cut off.
I panic because it seems like they're having a thing, right?
Yeah.
Fully having a thing. And I say, give me to the next moon. And it's just text that they would receive. They left me a voicemail and I texted back is essentially what happens.
Wow. That's a statement in itself.
Once you send that off that very brusque text, you feel across the bond with Mika disgruntled acceptance, but no sort of panic that would let you think that if you don't intervene in this moment, something dire would happen. And she tends to, it's obvious that she's in it right now, but that's kind of her energy.
Yeah.
So you're okay.
Okay.
And she seems just sated enough to have heard from you at all that she like lets it go. And you are left once again to your own devices.
I'm gonna get my things together and hurry on. hurry on board.
Amazing. You're one of the first people on
Yeah.
board. You kind of sit in your corner, your things taken from you and stored away, and you're able to watch the sort of ingress of all of the other Archfey. You see 3 hulking, large, ephemeral, a little translucent at the edge figures wearing masks of like theatrical expression carved from marble. Look at you. These are members of the chorus, the leaders of your court, and they acknowledge you. Give a little nod. Send no energy either of curiosity or confusion or acceptance or greeting. They send you nothing, but regard you and continue to move on to like their places of honor. It's kind of a big deal. But you're here and you're on your way. And from there, we go darker still. We move to dense woods where the canopy of ancient 100-boughed trees obscure the night sky above and reflect the orange glow of a roaring bonfire. Dancing about it are countless humanoid figures of varied heights and builds, laughing and screaming and throwing bones from the feast that they're engaging in into the fire and squealing with delight as they burst with a bang. You cannot see their faces, though a looming sentinel figure standing a dozen yards away, watching this dark rumpus of the Goblin Court can be made out. Brendan, will you please describe Captain Hob?
Very good, your ladyship.
The thigh slap heard around the world.
Truly.
Captain K.P. Hobbs strikes an imposing figure as he stands watchful guard over this most sacred and important of goblin rumpuses.
KP Hobb is KP Hobb is probably by a good measure the largest goblin here. For folks at home, they're familiar with D&D. He's very much a bugbear, but I think in the Goblin Court, those kinds of delineations between bugbears and hobgoblins, these are more fey goblins than like high fantasy goblins. So he is very tall. He has that like goblin countenance, but a little bit more animalistic. Like his nose is a sort of canine or ursine nose. It looks a little bit more bestial, but it's pressed into a more like regularly flat humanoid face. He's got the wide goblin mouth, very fangy and toothy, thick eyebrows, and incredibly long, furry, tufted ears that are very expressive along with his eyebrows, like twitch and move and position as he hears stuff, and also like very much do like the dog, like flatten if I'm sad or guilty, go up if I'm, alert. He's wearing a black military garb, epaulets, brocade, so black with like gold brocade and gold epaulets, and a blood red sash decorated with medals and emblems. Under one hand, he's got a tall like cavalry officer's hat, and a tall halberd in the other, very well kempt and polished, and no pants. He's very furry. He's got a little
in it.
Yeah, he's porky picking it.
Yeah.
So his immaculate military uniform, no pants, because his legs are digitigrade like a cat's, like a cougar's legs, and he's got a little like deer tail that's white on the underside to help communicate danger to my comrades in arms. And he is rigid. At attention, marching. It's just between 2 trees, so it's 4 steps from one tree to the next. Turn around. 4 steps back. No interlopers shall harm or besmirch any members of the goblin while they do their important work rumpusing.
Now, how tall are goblins usually, and how tall are you?
Yeah.
I would say the average goblin is between 2 and 3 feet tall.
Oh.
And I think even with his legs that are always kind of bent, KP comes in at around 7 feet tall.
What?
Jesus Christ.
So he's like
There was a visceral reaction of
I was like 2-3 feet. I was like, okay.
Maybe 5 or
yeah.
something. No, he a freak.
He a freak.
Is he the only one, or are there other that are just as tall?
In the description, I said they were of varied sizes. You have to listen.
Yeah, but like varied comes within. Like,
Exactly.
Okay,
Two to
upper range.
I think that there are the Goblin Court. There are truly like some goblins that are like 5 inches tall and are like stealing salt shakers, and then there's others.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So like, so I think like when KP, like part of the reason KP is marching is whenever he stands still, he becomes a platform for goblin shenanigans
100%.
Okay.
as the goblins crawl all
The
over.
little fella.
Yeah.
Little fella.
the little salt boys.
The little salt boys. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And has he always been tall? Did he get a growth spurt?
I do not remember any instance of spurting growth. I assume I have always been this tall, as this is the height that I deem necessary for the completion of my tasks.
As you say that out loud to no one asking you, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as some of the little salt goblins try to jam like chicken wings
my
into your
God.
open mouth.
I'm obsessed with these
Trying to get you to like.
goblins.
Oh, do we need to clap?
Let's go!
What a throw.
Like 3 little salt goblins get like cooked chicken into your face, and 1 goblin gets a small bird, like a quail, like a whole live quail in there.
A
Okay.
live quail.
I go, and a little feather comes out.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Or I assume this is like nobility, or
Yeah. I mean, a couple of the salt goblins like give a little curtsy and mock you as they like begin to dance down your body and slide off your tail. Because they're not nobility. But the one that jammed a quail in there actually is gonna hop off and move to his full height. He's a little bit shorter than you at like 6.5 feet tall, and this is the Goblin King.
Your Majesty,
that's the salute. Click your heels, smack your head, clap at the person. That's the goblin salute.
He gives you a little bow and then goes, also with you.
ha! I see I have been invited to Rumpus. Very well, Your Majesty.
And I'm going to punch a tree.
Yes. Give me an attack roll. Please kill this tree.
Nat 20! Nat 20!
Oh my goodness. I love
Amazing.
it.
You punch the center of this tree and it kind of crumples in on itself and like buckles, and then it shatters apart and sort of rains down wood chips on everyone around. The Goblin King himself offers you a polite bow, trying to mirror your like rigid formality for once. And speaks. Are you prepared for your mission at the Bloom?
Your Majesty, I await the mission with utmost earnestness and zeal. It is an honor to serve at your pleasure, Your Majesty.
Drop to 1 knee.
Oh, you're just gonna keep doing it. Okay, up. Let's go all the way back up.
Yes, Your Majesty.
I need you to remember, you are an honored and revered war hero, not just in our court, but across the realms in general. And there will be expectations of you, what you are there to do, who you're there to protect, who you are there to. Well, we don't need to speak about it here. But I am trusting you with boil and blemish. You will guard them with your life.
As you will it, sire. It is my fondest hope that I might die doing as you have ordered me to do.
The Goblin King's smile goes feral, and as the skin sort of splits away all the way to his ears, it reveals row after row of shark-like teeth. And his eyes go over black, but not reflecting any of the glow of the light. And he reaches behind him, quick as a flash, and grabs one of the smaller goblins, maybe only 2 feet tall, pierces through his ribcage, grabs his very heart, and rips it out, crushing it and covering his hand in green-black blood, which he decorously, gently wipes across your face as a blessing.
Single tear.
You honor me, Your Majesty. I speak not only for myself, but for the goblin you have just mercifully killed. We are forever in your debt.
Was that a salt goblin that y'all killed?
No, they're 5 inches. I
Inch of a heart.
But there we go. There's that Bloomhouse bloom. There you go. I knew we were gonna get it. There's that Bloomhouse bloom. Oh, god damn.
He holds your gaze for a couple long moments, assessing you and seeing something kindred in your stillness, but your ferocity.
Sire, I know that questions as to my mannerisms have sometimes floated about the Goblin Court. I am perhaps more rigid in my form and behavior than it would be right for a goblin to be. But know that I follow the code of goblin chivalry with every fiber of my being and have dedicated myself to mischief, mayhem, sneakery, rumpus, and ruin. With all my might, I shall not fail you in this endeavor.
He takes a little step away, sort of leaving his space, interposing you from the bonfire, and gestures with that still bloody hand. Prove it. We leave on the morrow.
Very well. Mayhem. Time for it. Here we go. Remember the code of goblin chivalry. Mayhem. A true goblin never does as he's told, never tells as he's done, and never follows a rule, least of all this one.
And he takes his halberd and just throws it through a nearby goblin.
Make an attack roll.
Oh boy.
That's going to be a 17.
Oh, yeah. A 17 absolutely catches a dancing, 5-foot-tall goblin.
Thank God. He's tall. He's tall.
it's not a little
He's
scary.
tall.
All right.
He's tall. He's tall. Don't worry. He's
The
tall.
salt boys are safe.
The salt boys are
Super
safe.
safe.
Oh.
Super safe.
And it pierces just sort of through the back of this goblin with long, shaggy fur covering their entire body, just above their left hip. And they wheel around, actually spinning the edge of the handle of your halberd into the fire and wheel and face you.
Medic! I leap to help this person. And I pull the halberd out of them and I say, brother, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I have injured you. I wanted to do it, so it was right. I do whatever I want. I'm a goblin. Are you hurt?
No. And then he spits blood in your face, pushes you away, lets you take the halberd, and keeps dancing.
When I get blood in my mouth, I go, and I wrestle this goblin. And just start biting.
Amazing. And sort of as the Goblin King laughs on, we kind of move out and away. But I do want to ask one question. Sort of once the frenzy of this moment has passed, Hob, what is foremost of mind? You know that your job here is one of a sentry, a sentinel watching out. So you are attenuated to the truly myriad rumors that fly about the courts, and you've had to pay attention not because you necessarily find them interesting, but because they are vital intel that will keep your charges alive. What interests you most in this moment?
Knowing that I will be accompanying Boyle and Blemish, our most clever goblin nobility, to the Bloom, it remains ever on Captain Hobbs' mind that the military victories he won for the Goblin Court in their battles against the Unseelie afforded them the ability to enter into a very advantageous political marriage, and everything was set for the Princess Grabalba of the Goblin Court to be wed to Prince Apollo of the Court of Wonder, until on the day of its announcement, before it was announced, everything was canceled. The plug was pulled. Someone behind the scenes at the Court of Wonder ended what would have been a huge political victory for the Goblin Court. So Captain Hobb has the names of who we think is responsible for taking our hard-won victories, and specifically my hard-won victories, and making them fruitless and having happened in vain.
Amazing. So as you sort of turn on that and think about it, and you wrestle in the frenzy with this already bestabbed goblin, you look up and you see at the edge of the firelight Viscountess Grabalba herself ripping these like small golden peonies petal by petal and throwing them in the fire. She's not running or dancing or laughing, she's just burning them. And you know that those were a flower associated with Prince Apollo specifically. And you make a little bit of eye contact in that moment. She gives you a nod.
I will avenge your honor.
For ruin.
And Rumpus. Let me smash that barrel. I'm sorry. No, I wanted to.
And on it goes. So we move from there now to the scene of our tale. A massive tidal island just off of the coast of the Seafoam Court's seemingly endless sandy beaches. It's daytime in a gorgeously appointed castle, central and topping this island like the highest tier of one of the hundreds of cakes that you, Rue, are responsible for, that you have brought with you. You are the emissary of joy, a member of the Court of Wonder, but somehow separate from it, a little beyond it. You've been here for weeks, not just at the request of the nobility of the Court of Seafoam, but you go where the energy leads you. And you were the first one to feel the bloom coming on years ago. And you began laying the preparations down, putting the right pieces in place. And now, it's the day.
It's the day.
Everything's here. Everything's exactly the way you would have it to be. And therefore, perfect. Rue. So, you are looking out over this beautiful thing that you have wrought via your effort and artistic abilities. And you see a figure approaching you. It's a satyr with a little piebald deer coloration, almost galloping up to you. You can see her wide, terrified doe eyes from yards and yards away. This is your assistant, Wavi. And as she gallops, her like pure white curls bounce and reflect the beautiful summer sun. And we sort of follow her as she comes up to whisper something in your ear about something she's panicking over that is probably fine. And you take it with all of that good grace, and we sort of follow the camera from her lips to your face. Deloso de la Rue, will you please describe yourself?
Okay, so Rue, as everyone calls me,
Of course.
is decked out in theme in honor of the Seafoam Court. They're wearing a gorgeous light blue, sort of like bodysuit, skin tight, very Britney Spears in the Toxic Fit.
Yes!
Glittering, dazzling. Also, the ensemble is an ode to the birth of Venus.
Yes, continue.
And
This is
in the
good for
bottom,
me.
you think it's just a bodysuit, but oh no. In the bottom, you see that it is in fact a mermaid dress that rises up in a beautiful taffeta in the shape of the shell from the painting, you know? Their skin is a beautiful light green color.
Yes.
Their hair cascading down, sea foam,
Of course.
beautiful elfin ears. Eyes, correct.
Yes.
Brows, done. You know?
Look, let me be very clear. I did say this was a fashion game, so you are going to be making all persuasion checks for the rest of this session at advantage. I love a fit. Incredible. So, Rue, Wovey is whispering in your ear and just, every archfey that was supposed to be here from every court worth knowing has arrived, except the Lords of the Wing. They're not here yet.
The Lord of the Wings always like to make an appearance.
Yes.
They will be here.
Right, but we had like a place for them, and they're not
Wovey,
here.
breathe. It's inhale, exhale. Inhale.
Again?
Yes. And exhale. You're getting better at these, Wovey. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
They will be here.
Okay.
They will be late, and that is to be expected. If they arrive later than expected, go to plan Q.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. And you see her like little doe tail is like wagging. She's very excited. Also, this came for you. And she reaches into her little satchel and offers up a note. There's no like wax seal or like colors to describe on first glance where it came from, but the like slickness and fineness of the vellum would suggest that this is of Archfey origin.
Okay, but not an official letter.
No, just it's just a little note.
Wovey, would you care to read it to me, please?
Oh, I can. Here, let me read it.
Of course, there's no secrets between us.
I love this and you so much. Your presence is requested on the northern lawns for a small gathering. And she flips it over. That's the whole note.
Huh.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not. And who sent you this letter, Wovey?
It was just on the pile with all the scrolls, or all the courts that were saying that they've arrived.
My schedule is quite busy. I'm packed, but I can't turn down an invitation, and a mysterious one at that. I'm intrigued.
I can take things off your plate.
Would you? I think I'll see to this meeting.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Wovey.
Just takes off. She is at a full gallop, occasionally like stumbling over like big marble like stairs and going to all fours and sprinting off.
I
in the
chuckled
direction.
to myself. That is so Wovey.
I think I'll see to this meeting.
So yeah, this wasn't a time-bounded invitation, but now that Wovey's sort of taking things off of your plate, there's nothing really left for Rue to do. They can sort of.
May I scope and see what is around me in terms of like, is anything out of the ordinary? Is everything perfect?
Everything is perfect. The only thing you see, it's not in flux, it's just being built up, is that at the like southern end of the island, you see a hole is being bored into the like seawall, and the tunnel that's going to lead out to tomorrow's hunt is being excavated. And that's right on time and right in line with your expectations and what should be happening now.
Okay, I look at the scenery and I take it all in. It's a very big moment for Rue.
Yeah.
And I smile because it's here, it's happening. This is the bloom. And I find myself, my hand shaking a little. I get nervous a little bit because I want the bloom to be the best there is. That's what I do, and that's what I'm good at. But this one, there's something about it that something feels special, more special than the other blooms. And I take a deep breath, and I exhale, like I told Wavi to do. And I slowly make my way to the destination.
Amazing. So we sort of follow you as you move down from the sort of edge of this palace at the top of the tier cake of this tidal island. And you pass, and everyone that sees you, especially everyone that's like putting last touches on bouquets and ribbons and lights for later, give you not just a bow or a curtsy, but a bright, beaming smile to have been in your presence, even for a moment, Rue. And we move across and around to the northern lawns in the shadow of this massive palace, where we actually find all four of you. And Hera, Hob, Rue, and Gwyn. You also received this sort of invitation that lacked any sort of signature or designation. You're not sure if this was an invitation that was originally meant for your sister, but you're here now. And you all are standing amongst maybe a dozen or so archfey. They've sort of started clumping together, and the four of you find yourselves standing close enough that the lawn itself begins to sprout, and it grows these beautifully ornate wrought iron chairs, and it blossoms a massive mushroom for a table for you four to sit and talk to one another before whatever happens.
Allow me.
And I'm going to. I have my arms go all the way down to my ankles. Like my fingers go from my shoulders to my ankles when I'm standing straight up. So I just pull out like all three chairs pretty messily for everyone else. One falls over, pick it up. After you, all three. You. Welcome to. I'm also new here.
You must be Lieutenant Hobbs.
Yes, that's exactly who you are. I'm Gwendolyn.
Captain Hobb.
Oh.
But yes, well met, delegates of the Court of Wonder. I see that the decorations are splendid as ever. You have truly outdone yourselves.
Good job.
Oh, thank you.
You did this.
I did. Well, I had a small part. I have many people helping me out, but thank you very much. Please, let us all sit.
Rue, can you do me a favor and make a history check for me?
Oh boy. That is a 5.
With a 5, yeah, that deserves a bad, sad applause. With a 5, you regard this Fae, you recognize her as a member of your court, but you do not recognize her.
My eyes stay on Gwen as I take my seat.
My eyes are also locked on your eyes as I take my seat.
Our eyes are locked together as we both take our seats.
Can I make an insight check?
Yes,
as
please.
to what the hell this is?
I'll give you advantage on this because
Insight is my favorite skill in D&D, and this character has a +1 to it.
Oh,
no.
That's an 11.
Ooh, what were you looking for in the specific?
I want to know if Captain Hobb can clock that Rue and Gwendolyn are regarding each other having never met before.
You know what? Give me either deception or performance.
Okay.
Both of us? Or-
No, you're good.
I'm good. Nice.
You know Rue.
I do.
Everyone knows Rue.
Okay, so that's a 2, but I have a performance bonus of 11.
The differential of that was buck wild. Okay, so with a 13, I'm gonna say you catch a glimmer, Hob, that Rue sort of internally is moving through and trying to place a person and then sort of puts on that generalized like, oh, hello. There's not quite a glimmer of recognition, but that kind of generalized kindness.
Copy. Oh, Your Majesty, well met, and hope you are enjoying the early festivities of the bloom as well.
And Hera sits down and leans the fuck back. Just one arm up, complete like spread of the legs, and just smiles.
Complete.
Complete, like a
Just
full
like
on. How much space? How much?
We talking obtuse angle.
Situation like, or are we summer shorts?
Yeah, what's the deal down there?
Yeah, what's going
Flexy
on?
we got.
I think it is no, because like they come from like a cave system.
Yeah.
So I think like our regal attire is like a full-on like Shavarkami kind of thing. So they are like, it is pantsed up with like form-fitting cloth,
Yeah.
but it is, you know, attuned to their body. So it's not being indecent, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Currently.
I'm not familiar with pants.
Yeah, how are you sitting?
It's clear I broke my chair before you guys got here. So I have taken like a section of, I guess, just a bush and ripped it out of the ground and put it, and I'm seated. For a big guy, it's crazy how much KP's knees touch while he's sitting. Like knees together, back straight, arms at the side.
Like clearly in pain. This is not comfortable.
I look like I'm inviting people to sit on the subway next to me.
Please, there's clearly space.
Because he's got like big guy body of like, I already know that I'm like taking up space. Like,
You're welcome. Seems comfortable.
Captain, it's good to see you again.
It has been some time, I believe, since last we beheld each other.
And he laughs out to the air. Yes, I would agree with that assessment.
The last time. Care to explain?
Yeah, tell us.
Shh, I didn't realize they were listening.
Well, you're very loud.
Yeah, and you're very close. We're very close to each other as well.
It was your fight, Captain. I'll allow you to.
Well, as they say, it takes two to waltz. But you know, it was both of our fights. We met. We traded blows, the prince and I, during a skirmish at the Battle of Briar Falls in the conflict between the Unseelie and Goblin courts some years ago. But all of that has since been settled, and we have come to diplomatic relations. A toast to wine.
May I have a history check on
Yes,
that specific
absolutely.
battle
Yeah.
as to what happened?
Hundo.
Please give me a high number. No more twos. Ooh, okay.
Okay, good. 'Cause
Um,
that's the dice I gave you. I put that shit out on the new moon, and it is not delivering.
No, this time it did. It's a 16.
Give me the like tenor of your like thoughts and your recollections here, and I'll give you extra information. What are you trying to
yes.
recall?
So I'm trying to recall like if this battle was written in textbooks, like what would they have written about?
Yes, this was sort of he downplayed it, but this was one of the like biggest and most well-known skirmishes between the Unseelie and the goblins. It is very hard to truly kill high-level fae. And this was one of those battles that like decimated both courts. And there are rumors and stirrings about the fight between KP and Anhera, and that the young prince was knocked from his mount and at Captain Hobb's sword point, and Hobb declined to finish him.
This is a rumor?
There's no textbooks about this, just what people hear and what they say. And as you're recalling this, all of you would notice that the other archfey that are here at their own little tables at the beginning of this discussion have grown quiet and are absolutely listening in.
Yes, I think a toast would be quite fitting to
New friendships?
new friendships and getting better at a double-bladed scimitar over time, Captain, which I will let you know has been happening quite a bit in your militaristic absence.
To
It's really long.
new friendships and to training with
scimitars.
double blade scimitars
Sharpening those
in my
scimitars.
military
Considering
absence.
have gotten better at it.
Good.
And as you all sip from your glasses, the reflection of the sun off of the like beautiful cut crystal, I need everyone to make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Hey! Ooh.
Is that the first crit?
6.
No, you had the
crit.
first.
First crit's on a
The
tree.
first crit belongs to them.
On the tree. That's
12,
Amazing.
16.
5.
Oh no. Hob, you never get there, but it starts with Gwendolyn. You're sort of sipping in your glass and you notice that reflection of the sun and you look up towards it and you see something shadowed against it. And your eyes turn up, as do yours. And finally, you follow it up to perceive.
I tap Captain Hobbs.
As what is resolving from like a single like smudge on the surface of the sun into movement as 1,000 birds surround something large and looming.
Adhira puts their hand over their cup.
Oh, goodness. Will someone throw a tarp over the buffet?
It's fine. I have it handled.
Once they sort of get into range and start actually throwing shadows across the lawn and block out the sun properly, you can hear bird song as birds that some of them shouldn't sing and some of them do gloriously are all chiming this beautiful lilting melody in harmony together as they surround and escort a massive nest that is being carried through the sky. And it's gonna take a good 8 to 12 minutes for this thing to
It's closer to 12.
It's closer to 12. It's closer to 12. It's
We're
closer to
blocking out the sun for a full 12 minutes. That's why we picked the birds that don't sing.
a bunch of pelicans doing their damnedest to carry the weight.
Oh yeah, there's some weird birds in there that shouldn't sing.
As a massive nest that you all know belongs to the Lords of the Wing is set down upon the northern lawn. And immediately all the birds go to roosting over every plant, over the nests themselves. Hob, you sit so straight that like 4 birds are like, that must be some kind of statue. And just absolutely post up.
Goblins do this all the time as well.
As 2 figures on their own time, at their own schedule.
Well, I think we're essentially on like a chariot ostrich that's being carried by doves.
You heard a chariot ostrich that's being carried by doves.
So the ostrich isn't pulling the chariot. The ostrich is the chariot.
Ostrich is a chariot.
Let us be clear. Ostrich chariot pulled by doves.
So there's doves in the front and you're just posting, you're on. Are you sharing an ostrich or are these
Of course not. 2 ostriches, 2 separate collections of doves pulling said ostriches.
Are the doves like sleigh dogs?
Yeah.
They've got big husky energy. They're just like,
How many doves does it take to pull one ostrich?
I mean, you gotta
I-
roll 3d10. Roll 3d10.
Allow you. Well,
If
I
you
guess
roll a 3 and it's 3 doves.
I'm assuming we have different weights. So
18.
18 doves on the one on the left.
yours
I know
only
it's
takes
impossible to get a
18?
1, but
yeah,
I want.
Oh,
Yeah.
so from 3d10, yours only takes 18.
Yeah.
Mine takes 25.
Wow.
That's so many doves.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of doves, but it seems like there should be more doves.
And since you are less obscured by doves, will you please introduce yourself
Yes.
to the group?
Lady Chirp Featherfowl, Countess of Cluckingham. She's sort of based off of a Victoria crowned pigeon. So if anyone were to Google that, or perhaps Post could even share a picture of one.
Right here.
Basically, I have kind of like pale blue skin, a fancy crown of feathers. I've got like a cloak of raven's feathers, like a bustier of like peacock feathers. I've got like a sleeve tattoo of birds of paradise flowers.
Yes.
And then I've also got a feather sword that I can kind of like whip out like a fan.
Amazing.
And then whip back in.
Like a butterfly knife? Like a switchblade situation?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I can also fan myself with it, and I can also kill people with it.
Amazing.
And I think the bird has almost like it's like eyeliner almost. It almost looks like a masquerade mask.
Love a description. Go ahead and take advantage on deception for the rest of the session. And beside you, your darling cousin.
Yes.
Please introduce yourself.
There stands Lord Squawk Erevis, Earl of Peckersburg. If you want to go ahead and track this and throw a nice little picture of my organs for me, it'll be the secretary bird. Like whip thin, truly like 105 pounds, wet, yet 6 feet tall, like dark, deep black, high boots into trousers, kind of almost like an ombre lightening up, kind of gray into white, wearing a kind of rich green waistcoat into, is it called a cravat? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I think for the occasion, wearing a cravat that is like clouds over ocean and kind of illusory in that way, of just like a soft white up top with a gentle blue underneath that slightly moves along with the wind, wearing a giant cape of black raven's feathers that kind of extends.
Cousin, we're wearing the same cape.
Well, I thought it would be striking.
You're right, actually.
Exactly. Into just like a very sharp, incredibly sharp features with kind of around his eyes, just kind of gilded makeup that like comes out and then in and then just kind of all the way around into hair that is like pulled back and sleek on top and then kind of poofs out in the back into a bunch of like, again, kind of ombreing these like white tendrils that end in black tips. Astride his ostrich chariot pulled by 25 beautiful doves.
You both come down, and as you sort of like land at the bottom and like enter onto the lawn, you see their retinue, dozens of bird-like humanoids and bird people sort of file out, and they're kind of looking around and talking amongst themselves and nodding. And one of them sort of leans in between you and just, a success. Everyone you wanted to be here is here for your arrival.
Fantastic. Cousin, I think that we should do an announcement.
Of course.
Okay. I'm like making a lot of noises to make sure everyone shuts the fuck up.
All of the birds start squawking loudly.
You're drawing focus, you're drawing focus, you're drawing focus.
Yeah.
They all get quiet.
Okay. Hello. It is I, Lady Featherfowl.
And I, Lord Erevis.
Now I know that perhaps we have had in the past a reputation of being rakes and scoundrels and scamps and rapscallion
We've ruined many a bloom for many of you.
and made some better. I'm looking at some of you. This year, however,
Okay, you know what? I just didn't return the feelings, okay?
Starts crying, runs away.
This year, I just wanted everyone to know that the Lords of the Wing have matured a bit, and we seek not just carnal pleasures, but a love match.
Love match.
Indeed, we are here in hopes of making amends as to our past behavior, as well as to find someone who might betroth both me and my cousin.
Separate people, though.
Separate people.
Separate people?
A couple people
We have done a lot
couple
of that.
they look hella disappointed like
We have, but in this time, separate.
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 Okay. And you hear from the back, I demand satisfaction. I demand satisfaction.
Does that mean something to you, cousin?
I am not sure. Can I make a perception check to see
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
who is it that demands satisfaction?
I mean, satisfying other people is my kink, as we all know.
I have satisfied many of you, yet it does not normally come in this space. That is a 9. So I'm more thinking about, who have I satisfied here? I've satisfied you.
Looking at you.
I've satisfied
You see one person like raise their hand?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of bird calls are actually based off of the sounds that you all make when you orgasm.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Again, just in case you forgot, our grandfather.
Invented birds. So.
All of the birds that are here all sing like a beautiful trill together at that announcement as they were trained to do.
Of course. Grandfather, he is alive, but also looking down on us.
Right. So when we look to the sky, it's not because he passed, it's because we live in the sky.
Yes, the Lords of the Wing are powerful as ever. Grandfather is very much alive.
Yes, grandfather's alive.
You have got to. I need an insight check against your deception. Everyone,
100%.
please make an insight check.
Oh, and that 20, baby!
Okay, I did get a 24 on my deception.
What's your total even past the, once you add your bonus?
24.
Oh, okay. A tie.
19.
19?
18.
I love your bodysuit.
I love your cape.
Oh, no!
Thank
Talk to your
you.
dice.
Is it a new sleeve?
New sleeve. No, it just keeps getting bigger.
Oh.
Yeah. It started with one Birds of Paradise flower, and then just keep adding them.
I will add though, and Hera goes to cast Zone of Truth, but stops in the last second and just looks around. It's not the place. Wanted to, but not the place.
You actually see, as you put your hands down, at the very edge of this lawn line, there's a beautiful marble bust, and you see leaning away from it is advisor. And then leans back and disappears behind it.
She's standing back there the entire time.
But I will say, Rue, you're the only one that clocks. And it's very faint. They're so aggressively gregarious that you're like, oh, there's something rotten here.
I'm
You
just
can smell
preening myself a little too aggressively.
Sharply.
Cousin?
Oh, thank you.
The woman that spoke up continues, and she stands, and you see this wooden carved feminine figure. She looks like a ballerina that's been whittled out of well lacquered maple and finished with inlaid mother of pearl and brass filigree. She stomps over to you, and though your perception check was low before, as she presents herself, she is the spitting image of her siblings. She's one of a set of triplets, and you know the other two quite well from a previous party, and she gets right up in your face. And I need you to make a dexterity save as she attempts to slap you.
How far are we apart at this moment?
I would say probably 30 feet away.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Roll low.
I don't want to get slapped, guys.
Just roll a low
Okay.
I secretly want him to get slapped because I love starting this out messy.
Do you want to give her advantage? I'll allow you. You can make
No, because we're turning a new feather.
Yes. It is
Turning
funny.
into
I do
feather.
think there is a moment in which this person approaching and the stirring of shit does excite Squawk.
Yeah. I think
But to get so quickly in the bloom, be in the shit. But remembering that we just announced that we're here to be mature and grown.
this is 3 a.m. behavior.
Yes, I know. Yes, I got a 15.
15. Her 18 is going to beat that. And she hauls off and slaps you. And this is Carpatia. And she says, I know what you did with Leona and Timor. And I am here to demand satisfaction for their honor.
Okay.
Is that what you say?
No, I don't say that. Do I recollect with that what I have been slapped over?
The hit kind of jogs your memory because that's a very specific texture. You had a one-night stand with 2 of the 3 triplets at the failed engagement party of Prince Apollo and Viscountess Gribalba. After everything sort of fell through, even though there were a bunch of like nobles and fae there, the party still happened because it was being thrown by Rue. And you fell into your cups and then fell into bed and broke their hearts.
Can I try to take the sound of the slap and turn it into applause for us and be like, all part of the show, fantastic work.
Persuasion check.
I think it's time for a crit. No.
I guess it could be deception. I'll allow it.
Okay, then I do it with advantage. That's the 7 twice. 12.
Okay. You know what? A couple people that are near, like not this table specifically, but the like Sealy court who are just kind of giving you a weird look will be the ones that join in to help you out.
Hi, no, thank you. I'm not trying
Is
to
this what you
associate
want?
with you.
Is this
You're
good
like
for you?
the most basic fae. Thank you, but
Oh,
no,
are you
thank
turning over a
you.
new leaf? We were here to support, and you just immediately spit on that.
Yeah,
That's
I am.
interesting.
I am. I can't.
It's an interesting choice of
I
you.
can't be seen with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all showed up late.
No, we showed up right when the party started because
Mm-hmm.
us arriving is when the party starts.
And the party started with a duel, or there's gonna be. So
Okay.
maybe
So
you
this is
tighten
really
your
hard for
ratchet
me
asses
because
up.
I fucking love a duel, but I'm turning over a new feather. So actually, I
it.
don't think I'll be.
Looks like you're molten in front of me.
Ooh.
Okay, are we allowed to duel? Did grandfather say we could duel?
Dueling is on both dueling and drunken dueling are off the table.
What about drugged dueling?
I believe that is also off the table.
I'm going to turn the other beak.
I wasn't challenging you. That's all Carpatia. But good luck. And they go back to like gently drinking. I guess mint julep since I made the Sealy Court Southern.
I am not used to the Sealy Court being that cool. I kind of liked her.
I guess truly.
Excuse me, I am in your face right now. Engage with this.
Sorry, you slapped me in the direction of my cousin. It just so happened.
She's gonna haul and hit you again.
Okay, now
Eyes on me.
Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, enough. Enough.
Thank you.
Capacia. Capacia?
Carpatia.
Capacia. Great. I do apologize for my behavior. It was an emotional time for all. The undoing of a what was to be an exciting bond sent us all into a tizzy. I apologize to your sisters. I only can promise that my behavior is more befitting of that of a lord, and it will be at this bloom. And I can only ask that we set out on this new journey on a different foot than the last.
You can give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Happily. Oh, that'll be an 18.
I have waited for months to demand satisfaction from you. How do I know that you're not going to just do this again? Not to my sisters, but anyone else here.
I can only offer my word, which in the past has not meant much. But I promise now, I am a different bird. I have turned the other beak. And I can only offer that. If I could open up my chest and show you my heart, I would.
And you see that something has turned in her countenance that is it's gone from general like rage to something of like an affectation preserving that anger. But you know what this look is because you saw it in her sister's eyes.
That's how you get them.
I say, I would happily, once our nest is established, please come by. I will show you the many ways in which I've changed.
And she goes even more rigid than a wooden woman could. And you see just like the beginnings of a blush at her cheeks as she goes over to Mahogany and sort of pats down the carved wood that is her hair. Gives you a little curtsy and turns and walks away without another word.
Give a slight bow, turn to my cousin. Jesus Christ.
I need you to fucking download what the fuck happened.
We got buck nasty. Well, it's because, it was, and they had all this stuff for a wedding. And so, we were talking about love and kind of the depth of connection.
You had the accoutrement of a wedding?
Yes.
And started having an encounter with that?
Well, yeah, that began like that, and we were like,
all of you hear this. Let me be very clear.
I can think of. Cousin, is it just me, or are we eating a lot of shit?
We're eating
Lords of the.
I am going to stand up.
Captain Hobb.
Lady Featherfowl, Lord Erevis.
Captain Hobb.
I've seen your name in the papers recently.
I wish to convey the sympathies of the Goblin Court. The Lady Capacia was clearly not possessed of reason in a moment of pique. Obviously, she referred to an event that never occurred. As we know, the marriage, hypothetical though it might be, of the Viscountess Grabalba and Prince Apollo of the Court of Wonder was never announced. It is mere speculation.
Now, Captain Hobb, that was in the past. We do not dwell on the past. This is a new bloom. Let us start anew, please.
I disagree that it is in the past, for indeed it never occurred at all.
And I'd like to make a sort of outward intimidation check.
Ooh. I need everyone to make. Let's go charisma save.
Everyone gets a +2 standing near me, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Within 10 feet, just so you know.
Great.
And you have to beat his intimidation.
A 9.
I'll give you an advantage on this. Ooh, because it's cool. You did a cool thing.
That helps.
Yay.
And I'm also going to use a commanding presence battle master maneuver to add a D8 to an intimidation check. So that's going to be 22 plus 5 is 27.
Okay, guys, you have to beat a 27 on a charisma save.
I got a 21 and I thought I was.
Oh,
no!
I got a 9.
What do we have to beat?
27.
Also 25.
Oh, shit.
Did you use the +2 of standing near, of being
If
near me?
I'm near and then I also hit a 27.
What's the range?
10 feet.
That wouldn't be close enough unless you can explain to me how you would have closed the distance.
I mean, I think only in the moment where we hia'd.
Yes!
Up to
allow
Rue
it.
at which point
Yes.
Captain Hobb began speaking to us. So unless
I'll count
Captain
it.
Hobb closed a
that.
great distance.
Meets it, beats it. Everyone here, with the exception of Lord Squawk, is suddenly like cowed and turns to you.
I only mean to remind the assembled guests of this most magnificent bloom that no engagement of any kind between any member of the Goblin Court nor the Court of Wonder was ever formally announced. And therefore, all of this speculation is of a type of rumor-mongering most unbecoming of the Archfey herein assembled.
I am a picture of decorum, this bloom, so as you will.
I mean only to give my sympathies that you were so rudely challenged with an accusation that could not have been true because it referenced events that never happened.
There's like spit on my face now because Hobbs just like spat all over everyone.
You're glowing. You're glistening.
Thank
It looks so good with your mermaid outfit.
When Hobbs spoke and Hera just like sat up properly, like none of that like man spread stuff anymore, it was just like, oh shit. But then like is looking for a pocket the second that you finish speaking, just kind of hops up and goes, but then again, we're here for a party, aren't we? So
I'm sorry.
yes.
Who are you?
I am Andhira. We've actually met before.
Yes.
You used to be
Much smaller, yes?
Much smaller.
In the past.
But you were so weird. too.
Well, no.
You were weird.
No, I don't.
Yes, you
no,
remember that.
absolutely.
Constantly hiding.
Yes.
Always
hiding,
Every
cowering.
time I
in
turned
some
around, you'd be like,
ways.
ah!
And now I the screams come from when I now fight or make love.
I do see that you filled out a lot of non-functional muscle.
My lady, you make me blush, which is difficult for my particular complexion.
But you have changed, grown a lot.
Yes.
In more ways than one, I assure you.
Well,
Anyhow, when I heard that both of you were arriving, or were to attend the Bloom, I wanted to get both of you something particularly special to say, sort of, what's up?
Oh, I love a what's up gift.
I would, if it's all right, pull out 2 crystals that have like sort of like a charged little like red dancing energy inside.
Ooh.
These will get you stoned as shit.
Okay, again, drugged dueling might be okay.
Might be. It wasn't on the list.
It wasn't on the list. Thank you.
Thank you.
I look forward to us partying.
Yes.
I
do as well.
About that. We actually really aren't supposed to be doing that this year.
Yes. But we do look forward to it. In a moment where it's appropriate and is controlled and contained.
Yes. Yes.
Great. Good. I'm very happy to hear that.
Put it away.
I
Cousin.
can't stop staring
Cousin,
at
put it away.
Okay.
Put it away, yes.
In my mouth.
I'm going to take Chirp's hand and guide. Not in your down, not in your mouth. Not in your mouth.
Okay.
Let's use that moment to push through to the conversation that you had with the leader of your house,
Grandfather.
not court.
Okay.
Because the Lords of the Wing are the only unincorporated major family left in the Fey realms. Your people, your grandfather, made a decision centuries ago to remain above and beyond. And his disdain and contempt for those below the branch was deeply ingrained in you.
Mm.
And even now, as your nest is so slowly being carried across the sky
Careful.
from your homestead.
Down, right there, right. A little to the left.
Okay.
A little to the left.
Now the entrance is being blocked by a tree. It's being blocked by a tree.
Pull it back up. We're going to do it again.
Yeah, everybody. Up.
Pelicans, pull your weight.
And you see like one pelican chirps and like a fish jumps out of their mouth.
You son! Oh, you were eating! Oh, you were eating! How dare you!
Even here, you see your grandfather, a man of countless eons, and like you, very bird-like in his appearance, though birds were modeled after you and your kin, and took all of the striking beauty and preening into account. Your grandfather is all the worst parts of birds. Like all the nasty shit. A waddle and like a comb, a fleshy, disgusting comb on a bald pate with too thin of legs that look rickety as though the knees ought to bend the other way.
Oh, so tough to look
I love him, but it's so hard to look him in the eye.
I know. I tend to just do a crossword puzzle when I have to talk to him.
He is used to your lack of eye contact and your lack of rapt attention to him. But he reclines, sort of leaning on a massive peregrine falcon as he speaks to you sternly as you are on your way. This must go differently. You understand that, right?
Yes, grandfather.
Of course, grandfather.
Absolutely, grandfather.
Always, grandfather.
Forever, grandfather.
You have to
Definitely, grandfather.
stop saying my fucking name. You know who I am. But do you know who you are? Because I think you constantly forget yourselves around those unwinged cretins.
You're not wrong. We forget ourselves, and there's a lot of substances imbibed which are conducive to forgetfulness.
You're blaming this on the things you choose to put in your body?
It wasn't a strong defense, I admit.
It was not. But I appreciate your honesty.
We won't let you down. Can we ask, though, why are you coming down so hard this year? Because usually just send us with packs of money and golden eggs.
All of that has yielded all of this. And we cannot endure another season of your misdeeds. Our ancient and noble house is crumbling at the foundation because of your actions, because of the words that reach even me here in my nest that I so kindly lend to you.
Grandfather, we promise this season we will soar above the frivolity and act as is befitting of you and our great house.
Yes.
'Tis our solemn vow.
You will settle down.
Grandfather, may I inquire? Do you have any particular courts that you think would make the most profitable alliance?
Of course, you, grandfather, would know best which
Yes.
of whom to make a match.
Yes.
If you're leaving it to me,
I
I will be happy to make the matches on your behalf.
No, we have a few ideas. We've been betting
It would
around a
be
few ideas.
wonderful to experience you with half of a fucking idea for once.
Of course, grandfather.
Okay. I laid an egg. I just laid an egg.
Jesus.
Crack.
Grandfather, you're absolutely right. We have been spoiled
Yes.
Yes.
and frivolous
Yes.
and indecorous. And this year, you are going to see birds of a new feather.
Yes, we're going to.
I don't like bird
we're going
puns.
to turn a new beak.
Let me be very I said not do it, and then you did it anyway.
Well, yes, it does. It kind of doesn't
No,
work.
you do it out there. In here, we just talk normal.
Okay.
Okay.
I said the below the branch thing, but that was such a long time ago. I got over it.
Yes, you invented birds. We feel obligated. We cannot
What have you
forget that.
invented?
Do you think that Henry Ford doesn't make car puns?
In the mortal world, the man who created the motor vehicle.
Hold on. And you see your grandfather's already like blustery countenance grow even darker as you mentioned the mortal realm.
Not that I.
The what?
We,
No! What?
The material plane. I've heard I never go. Never. When there's so much sky to fly, who would need to go to the material plane? Who indeed? I'm so sorry.
You need to convince your grandfather of what you've just said. Now, if that's a persuasion check
Fuck it, I'm gonna give
or a
it.
deception check,
I'm going to.
that's on you.
What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to use my Metamagic Adept subtle spell to cast Gift of Gab so he doesn't remember that I said that.
Ooh. System.
Excuse me? Do I have any roll to make?
When you cast the spell, you skillfully reshape the memories of listeners in your immediate area so that each creature of your choice within 5 feet of you forgets everything you said within the last 6 seconds. Those creatures then remember you actually said the words you speak as the verbal component spell. Technically, I don't, because of subtle spell, I don't need a verbal component, but I'm going to just say, I cannot wait to make the most fantastic match that will make you so proud.
Good.
Yeah, good.
You will find matches if you return from the bloom without partners of merit or with any stain on your already sullied reputations. I will deal with you as I see fit. Some birds eat their young.
That's kind of a bird pun, right?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Really?
In a Regency game, Gift of Gab is the best spell.
so good.
Brendan wouldn't let me take it in Fantasy High, but it's
That's what I get for getting caught fucking slipping. All right. That's dope and not a problem for me at all.
So, no on the drugs, or?
No, we of course take the gift. We hold it, and at an appropriate time, we will revel in it.
just real quick, like, is it something that can be absorbed through the skin? If I sweat enough?
Yes. By holding it, you actually get stoned to shit.
I put it in the side bag on my ostrich. Okay. Save that for later.
A welcomed gift. Antira, thank you.
So good to see you both again.
So good to see you.
Yes.
Bloom is already off to a hot start.
It really is.
Amazing. Can I get a history check, both of you, as you're sort of interacting with it?
Nat 20, baby.
Amazing.
And a cool 6. Just a 5.
You're busy doing something the fuck else.
Probably just trying to figure out how the Antira I knew got to the Antira we're standing in
Yeah.
front of.
If I failed, I was definitely going to spend my turn ogling Antira.
Yeah, it's a lot
Oh,
of that.
this is about Antira, because you are
okay.
sort of at the point where you remembered him at previous blooms as Pillar Boy,
Yes.
and with no
Always hide
real
behind a
name
pillar.
attached to that memory. But now that you've said his name and you've heard it, you can attach it to the rumors that reached even you on the way here. And you know that all of the mamas of your society have sort of shouted out that Anhira, as the prince of the Unseelie court and the one designated to inherit the throne, when the Queen of Air and Darkness finally vacates it, is the most eligible bachelor.
Okay, I cast the message to Squawk, and I'm just like, cousin,
Yes.
he's like the most eligible bachelor here.
And so hot.
I know. It rarely aligns like that, right?
He used to be just a weird purple kid hanging. We called him Pillar Boy,
We called
right?
him Pillar
We called him Pillar Boy.
Every pillar.
This is fucking Pillar Boy? Pillar Boy is a fucking pillar now.
Pillar Boy is chiseled from fucking stone.
Truly.
Okay, so yeah, to just.
But he's hot stuff?
He's hot stuff.
Mm.
While it's happening, they're like adjusting their robe to make sure it looks good.
Thank you so much.
I do a winged bow.
Oh, you don't. I'm not. We're friends. So let's just, be cool, I guess.
Indeed. Rue, I wanted to speak on behalf of my cousin as well.
Hi.
I know the way and manner in which we have acted at past events you've thrown has been very unbecoming. And in fact, in many ways, I'm sure made you feel as if we did not respect and honor the work that you do in making the events that you do. We are here on a different foot. And we are excited at all that I'm sure you have in store for us.
Oh, my dears, that means so much coming from you two. I must admit, you have caused me a lot of trouble in the past. But that was to be expected. And I did have various backup plans.
I love it. I think the word you were looking for was contingencies, but I love
That's it.
Yeah.
AKA backup plans.
As you say that, you can actually see kind of like tromping up the lane is Wovey, your assistant, holding a massive like confetti cannon and like making eye contact with you, and then sees the nest and spots the Lords of the Wing and it's like, and then turns around and walks away. Doesn't get to use Plan Q.
But rest assured, if what you say is true,
It is. It is.
this bloom is one to remember.
I love that. I do.
Is that, and of course we're on theme. I of course dressed for the day. We are so excited to engage in whatever it is you have.
I must say I'm a bit sad that you turned over a new feather because I was expecting you to make some sort of event happen. I mean, what is a bloom without an event from these two? Am I right?
Yes, of course.
So I would like to make a wager this bloom.
What?
I'm gonna do it.
The Celia are all perked up, like, go on. Sorry, are we a part of this?
Yes, everyone.
Amazing.
Everyone in the bloom is welcome to participate. If anyone in this bloom believes that these two will behave in their utmost best selves, I'm willing to give as much gold as I possibly can to them.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. Are you making a bet that entices other people to
attempt
us?
To tempt us?
Lure us away from our promises to Grandpapa?
Oh, it's just a fun game that we play. You can see it that way, but I see it as a fun little game for us to play. Now,
Squawk is going to balance himself on his cousin.
now if you're able to make the bloom throughout the entire occasion, being on your best behavior, finding a suitable match, you will be rewarded so greatly.
Oh.
What that reward will be, I will not say at this moment in time.
Oh God, I love a mystery.
Of course. Why would you ever, bury the lead? Bury it deep.
But I don't want to start this game that we play without your permission. So, do we have your permission to make this proposition happen?
I just want to clarify the rules because we love a game.
We love a game.
We love a game.
Croquet.
Croquet, something a little bit more dangerous.
Badminton, where there's a birdie.
Yes.
Okay.
But we just want to make sure that the rules are
Yes.
laid out for all.
Of course.
If we are and do the things that we say we are going to do.
Shining beacons.
Yes.
of
An
bloom
example of
behavior.
bloom
Yes.
behavior, exactly.
No.
We receive this gift.
Mhm.
And if we fail, who wins?
Ooh.
The entire fairy court.
Hmm.
I think we have to go for it.
Of course, we are lords of the wing.
Yeah.
We will not fail. And I think simultaneously we stick out our hands and say, then let it be so, Rue.
And in your outstretched hands, I give you a pen. Wovey, is the contract ready?
And you see her just like boost the confetti cannon over her shoulder and she just comes charging in. Contract.
Yes, the contract.
Yes. Oh God, 1 second. And you see her reach into hammer space, into nothing, and pulls out 2 like gold gilt scrolls that unroll with a snap of her little hands and hover before you.
I think that we should link our hands like people taking a drink.
Of course.
And then sign.
My God, those signatures are an absolute mess.
Chicken straw, really.
Grandfather, he's not dead. He's just in the sky.
Wovey snaps the scroll closed, and you all feel a pulse of energy out and away because Fey deals are powerful and powerful most here and now at the center of a surge of magic that you're all here to celebrate. Gwen, I need you to make an Arcana check for me.
That is 21.
Ooh.
Damn.
You feel that pulse just like everyone does, that everyone here at the Bloom felt some level. But you're in it, you're around it, you are suffused with the gravity of the magic that these Fae toss about for fun. You've been a member of the Court of Wonder. You know that their sort of rise to prominence has come with a controlling majority of the magic that comes through this world. That when you all make bets and deals, it's not for coin. What is a coin to a Fae? You are the source of magic, and it's magic that you trade in, and they bandy it about without a care. And you think about all of the people here and other places that were starved out, that were choked out because they didn't have access to this, to a fraction of this. But your princess-like demeanor is unchanged, and you watch this exchange happen as the assembled Fae here laugh and drink and make their merry little plans. But it's all just beginning now, and you're in it. The bloom has officially begun, and that's where we're going to end our episode. So join us again next time for Chapter 2, The Great Heart Hunt, here at the Court of Fae and Flowers. Bye.
I'm gonna be a good boy.
It would be my absolute honor to accompany you on this hunt.
And
as
so-
we look, oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
As we, you got, yep.
Everything's great. I'm gonna go check on the horns to make sure they are not too horny or horny enough.
I'm sorry?
In order to get a Fae's attention, we must build a shrine. We must pay homage to it. That's what these apples are for.
Oh, yes, that absolutely makes sense.
What if we just make someone else fall in love with us? Or
Well-
what if we're looking in the mirror? Self-love is so important.
Absolutely.
I need sexy help.
But of course, he's so injured and needs such sexy help.
Oh,
that
thank you,
our
Hera.
duel can wait until afterwards.
Oh.
Once you've done sex on the injuries